Hello and welcome! Today I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful fall scarf. It is just a 2-row repeat. It's really easy. Once you get the pattern, you'll fly through this. On the ends, I've just added a little bit of an accent, little triangles. They almost look like feathers or leaves, but you can easily add fringe if you prefer that look as well. For this project, I am using a 6mm crochet hook, and the yarn that I have used for this is the Facets by Loops and Threads. It's a roving style yarn. This color is called Flame. I used 2 full balls of this, and each ball is 279 yards. And you can see what a pretty color this one is. And look how gorgeous it worked up. I will give you the full measurements of this scarf in the description box down below, so be sure to check that out. But with 2 balls, you get a very nice size scarf. You'll also need scissors and, of course, a yarn needle to weave in those ends. For this pattern, you want a stitch multiple of 7 plus 2, and then you're going to add another 2 for your turning chain. For my scarf, I wound up chaining 35 plus 2 plus 2, which equals 39 total. Now, once you have your chain multiple that you have decided, again, for me it was 35 plus 2 plus 2, which was 39 total chains, you want to work a double crochet into the 4th chain away from the hook. So we're going to work a double crochet into that 4th chain. We're going to skip 2, so skip the next 2 chains. And we're going to work 5 double crochets in the next. And don't forget this chain here. Once you work your 5 double crochets, that chain will stretch out, and don't forget that you have a chain sitting right next to it. You want to skip 2, so skip that one right next to it, and the next, a double crochet into the next stitch, and a double crochet into the very next one as well. We're going to skip the next 2, 1, 2, and work 5 double crochets into the next. Skip the next 2 and a double crochet into the next 2. And you're going to work that all the way back down your chain. You want to skip 2, work 5 double crochets in the next, skip 2, and work a double crochet in the next 2, and that's the pattern. You should have ended with a double crochet into the last 2 stitches, so that there's a double crochet in that very last chain. For row 2, we're going to chain 3, turn our work into that very first stitch where our chain 3 is coming out of. We want to put 2 double crochets right back into that chain. So you'll have a total of 3 double crochets on that very end. Now we're going to jump to our 5 double crochet shell, and you want to find that middle shell. So there should be 1, 2 on this side. Go to the end, and there's 2 on that side, and there's that middle double crochet. You want to work a double crochet to the right of it, so right into that space, work a double crochet, and then a double crochet, skip that double crochet in the middle, and then work a double crochet into the space right to the left of it. So here's our shell, and then we're working a double crochet into the space right between that middle double crochet of the shell and right and to the left of it as well. We're going to skip to those 2 double crochets, and in the middle of those 2 double crochets we're going to work our 5 double crochet shell. And that's the pattern. You work a 5 double crochet shell into the space between your 2 double crochets in the previous row, and then you find the middle of your 5 double crochet shell, pop that middle double crochet out, and put a double crochet in the space to the right and to the left of it. So I'm going to find that middle double crochet in the space to the right. I'm working a double crochet, and in the space to the left I'm going to work a double crochet. So this pattern works up really quickly because you're not actually working into stitches. You're going to be working into those spaces in between the double crochets and your in your shell. So I've just worked into the shell. I'm going to find those 2 vertical double crochets, find the space right in between them, and work a shell. So 5 double crochets. I'm at a shell, find that middle double crochet, work a double crochet to the right of it, and a double crochet in the space to the left. At the end of this row you'll have your 2 double crochet stitches that we worked. One is from our turning chain, and then we worked a double crochet. Because we started with the half a shell on this side, we need to finish with half a shell on this side. So you're going to find the top of your turning chain, and you're going to work 3 double crochets into it, and that will complete row 2. For row 3 we're going to chain 3. So every row starts with a chain 3. Now, because we're in half of our shell, all we want to do is work a double crochet into the very next stitch, and that gives us our 2 double crochet, those verticals on this end. Now we're at our previous 2 double crochet vertical stitches, and we're going to work a shell right in between them. So 5 double crochets. We're at a shell. I'm going to split that shell, find the middle, and work a double crochet to the right of that middle stitch in the space and to the left. Skipping over to my next 2 double crochet vertical stitches, I'm working a shell into the middle of those. I'm at my shell again, so I'm going to split the shell, find that middle stitch, and in the space to the right a double crochet, and in the space to the left double crochet. Now here we're at the end. I've got my half shell on the very end, and here's my 2 vertical double crochets. I need to work a shell, so 5 double crochets into that space in between those 2 stitches. And here at the end, because we're working technically into a shell, we just need 2 double crochets to create our 2 vertical stitches. I'm going to work into that space on the very end, a double crochet, and I'm going to work a double crochet into the top of that turning chain, and that will give me my 2 vertical stitches on the end. And that is row 3. So this is a 2-row repeat. You just repeat rows 2 and 3 over and over and over, and you get this absolutely gorgeous pattern. For row 2, you're always going to start with half of a shell. So you always want to start with having 3 double crochets. So you do your chain 3, work 2 double crochets right back into that same stitch that you chained out of, and you're also going to end with your 3 double crochets, half the shell. For row 3, you want to start and end with your 2 vertical bars like this on the end, so that chain 3 counts as a double crochet, and you work a double crochet into the very next stitch over to create that bar. And on this end, you also end with 2 double crochets. So it's a really quick and easy repeater because the pattern remains the same as you're crocheting up. The only difference is how you start and how you finish rows 2 and 3. So you can work as many rows as you want. I have worked 2 full balls just about of this yarn. This is all I have left, and I'm going to use it to create just a really simple edging on both the top and the bottom of my scarf. For the edging, I am going to chain 6, turn, and I'm going to work back down this chain. So in that first chain, slip stitch. In the next chain, I'm going to single crochet. In the next chain, I'm going to half double crochet. In the next chain and the last chain, I'm going to double crochet. Once you've done that, sort of line it up like this, and you're basically just going to be creating little triangles, and this is sort of just a personal preference on where you need to slip stitch back to your scarf. I like to skip 1 or 2 stitches, slip stitch, and see how that looks. We're going to do the same thing again. Chain 6, and work that same pattern. Slip stitch in that first, single crochet in the next, half double crochet in the next, double crochet in the next, line it up. So I'm going to skip 2 stitches. So 1, 2, and in the next, slip stitch. And you'll get these little points at the end of your scarf on both sides. So I'm going to continue working my little points all the way down and ending in the top of the turning chain here. And then I'm going to cut my yarn and join at the other end, do the same thing, chain 6, and work back down the chain, and I'll show you what my finished scarf looks like in just a second. I have added these little triangle ends to both the top and the bottom of my scarf, and you can see it doesn't have to be exact. You kind of line it up, see how you like the distance between each little triangle and then just slip stitch, you know, a stitch or two over. And you create, it's almost like fringe. It acts the same way, but it's not quite so fringy. I will put the measurements for this scarf down below in the description box. I will also link a tutorial I have for another scarf where I show you how to add fringe. So I will link that one down below as well. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Happy fall, everyone. Until next time, bye.